Foul position here at the back of the main stand, and as you can hear, it is a windy afternoon. His kickoff comes from Jordan Burns. It's up in the air, and it is collected on the full just by Dan Abram, held up in the wind, and he's going to be pushed back by 3-4 Whitehaven defenders. You can hear the held call, and he's still being pushed back there from Jordan Thompson. He's going to play this sort of 6-7 metres further backwards from when he caught the ball. Swinton man will now look to fetch his ball forward down the middle. Holiday, Thompson and Kellett all involved. It's Beardsworth, the man who plays the ball. Look to continue to fetch his ball forward now. Do the Lions. It's the Alfie Sinclair. Hartill's in at dummy half, finds Adam Sidlaw. Sidlaw brought down just over his own 40. Pearce and Kellett involved. Goes right now. Couple of pairs of hands before finding Abram, then goes out the back once more, then to Louis Roberts. Roberts will be tied up 5 and last, just over the halfway. Going to come across now to Abram. He'll get the kick underway. A bit of pressure from Rio McQuinston, and it's going to be collected by the Swinton man, held up in the wind. They're going to look to put another kick further forward. It's going to be, looks to be a penalty for Whitehaven. I think it was Mitch Cox that collected. It was being ruled being offside at the kick, and it'll be an opportunity for Whitehaven to try and find touch. That could be difficult on an afternoon like this, Dave Parkinson.
It could be difficult, but I thought that was a really good first set, to be honest, as far as the Swinton Lions were concerned, and then the attacks. But it was the right call. He was offside by a good couple of metres, I feel.
So it'll be Tyra who puts the kick into touch, and Whitehaven are going to start this 5 metres short of the halfway line. Be Bickerdike to take the tap. Now finds Tyra. Tyra will then find Jake Pearce.
Rolled over on his back by 2 Swinton Lions players near the halfway line there, gentlemen.
All get in at dummy half. Goes left into the hands of Tyra. Tyra then finds McQuinston. Didn't have too much of a go forward there, did McQuinston, when getting that ball. So he's been wrapped up just still short of the halfway line, only a metre or so short. Holgate once more in at dummy half. Pearce once again to look to fetching this ball forward, the former Watford man. Another Watford man, Holgate in at dummy half. Then finds Kellett. Kellett's nearly through a gap. He's got that in his repertoire, is Jack Kellett. Holgate in at dummy half, looks to go right, then Dave's left, going to put a little kick forward and try and put some pressure under Roberts. It bounces kindly for Louis Roberts, but he's going to be nailed by Holgate. A couple of others in there as well, and they're going to start this set 11 metres away from their own line of the Lions.
I really like that attacking kick though, and the chase team as well from Whitehaven was really good. There was a good 8 or 9 players that were following up that kick, and it will probably ensure that the Lions don't make that many metres forward. They don't look that threatening so far.
Continue to fetch the ball forward. I think it's Adam Lynch, the man now, looking to fetch his ball forward. He plays it in at centre of the field. Comes across now a couple of pairs of hands. It's Roberts the fullback, and Todd's involved, as is Chris Taylor and Jack Newbegging to fetch the fullback down. Looking to come down this short side once more, realised there was a no-man overlap, and they're trying to use it. And they've got Anderson on this side, and he says it's a foot in touch, just Connor Holiday to the touch shot, back inside then to Jordan Pogger, and Jordan Pogger, who wasn't meant to be playing this afternoon, is going to get the first 4-pointer of the afternoon for the Swinton Lions. Done well to notice the overlap down this right-hand side, following Mitchell Todd being pulled in at marker, and then Chris Taylor with the 2-on-1. There was a call from Connor Holiday that Ellis Anderson had potentially put his foot in touch. We couldn't see from here. The touch judge wasn't interested. We're around about 3 minutes on the clock here at Heywood Road, and Swinton in for the first 4-pointer of the afternoon, and their first of the League One season. It's Swinton 4, Whitehaven 0.
Well, it was a Quicksilver attack that came down that left-hand side. Ellis Anderson, as you mentioned, showing that clean pair of heels, and okay, there was that appeal for him brushing the touchline. As we said, we can't see that far from our position where we're commentating from, but the way that the Lions played on was really good. It was quick fire. It was really good support play from Pagger, and the former Oldham man went over about 10 metres to the left of the post, leaving this conversion attempt for Dan Abram. He could eat these for breakfast, couldn't he?
He normally does Dan Abram. I seem to mention every time I see Dan Abram playing, and remind him something you mentioned earlier on off air about his conversion goal initially on Good Friday against Workington to win the Good Friday derby on that occasion, and done it later on in the season. Somehow that's 6.5 years ago, nearly 7 years ago. Time does fly, but he's able to nail that conversion as well once more. Is Dan Abram, so it means here at Heywood Road, put your hands up in the air. This wedding DJ is getting worse and worse. And mind you, the Swinton fans are enjoying it here in front of us at Heywood Road. It is Swinton 6, Whitehaven 0 on BBC Radio, Cumbria Sport Online. And not the start that Anthony Muddy's side will have wanted.
No, definitely not the start, and it was looking quite promising until them two passes which came down that left hand side, and all of a sudden they found a bit of space, didn't they? Whitehaven dropped the restart short. Swinton just about gather it in. It was really scrappy in the end, but Beardworth was able to get on the end of it, and now the Lions coming forward to their own 30 metre line through Harry Hyam.
They're just holding up in this wind. It is a very strong wind out there, gusts of potentially up to 40-50 mile an hour expected in Sale here this afternoon. So Whitehaven trying to use that to their advantage in the early stage, and the ball's been lost. Penalty, however, says referee Denton Arnold. Calls for a ball strip, and yet again something that Anthony Muddy won't be wanting is to give this Swinton side easy field possession, although he's only lost around about 10 metres there, but it is a fresh set of 6. As now take the tap through Lynch. Finds Pagger then goes across Abram. They're looking to play from play one, as now finds Roberts. Roberts looks straight up on his man, and he's gone over the halfway line.
One thing from these really early stages, Jordan, is they're bringing Louis Roberts into play as often as they can, aren't they? He's definitely, you look where he is, and that's the direction of the attack.
It is at the moment in the early stages here for the Lions, as they've now made it to just over the Whitehaven 40. Hartill in at dummy half, incorrect play of the ball. Is it from, I think it could be, let's have a look, it was, I think it could, no, it's not Hartill. I think it could be Alfie Sinclair, I think, yeah. 21 on his back as Sinclair, and it is going to be him that's, oh no, so it's 21, it must be Hartill.
Yeah, it was a real scrappy play.
It was a scrappy play of the ball. Whoever it was a scrappy play of the ball. Yeah, Kellett now plays the ball with the turnover. Holgate goes left into the hands of Rio McQuiston. He's going to be put down onto his back as the former Milan man, just over his own 40, sort of 10-12 metres in from the far touchline, as Jake Pearce now looks to fetch it forward. Calls for a high tackle from the Whitehaven contingent, and it's given belatedly by referee Denton Arnold, and this is what Whitehaven want. They want an opportunity to get themselves down to the field. Like I said, going to be difficult conditions, trying to find plenty of yardage on this. As you can hear, the wind is swirling around us here at Heywood Road. He's only made 10 metres there as Kieran Tyler, but I think more about just making touch on that occasion and giving his side an opportunity to play. It'll be Bickerdike that takes the tap, and now finds Tyra, then comes across to Pearce once more, and Pearce is stopped in his tracks, taking down just over the 40. He's only made a metre or 2 metres there of Whitehaven. Holgate in at dummy half, comes across then to Jordan Thompson, who finds Jack Keller. Kellett's nearly through, looking to get his arm free there was Jack Keller, but just made the right decision to keep hold of it instead. He's taken down 22-23 metres out. Holgate in at dummy half, goes across to the middle now towards then Jordan Thompson. Thompson taken down 15 metres out, in line with the left hand side post. Incorrect play of the ball there. Initially thought he'd have got away with it there to Jordan Thompson, but referee Denton Arnold picks him up on it, and it's going to be a turnover ball once more, as Swinton will have the ball here 15 metres away from their own line.
What these last couple of minutes have shown us is that our referee Denton Arnold is going to be crash hot on that call today, isn't he? He's wanting players to play the ball correctly, and if you're not going to, you're going to be conceded possession.
He certainly are. Swinton look to fetch his ball forward, plays it 20 metres away from the own line, does the Swinton man. Fetch it up now to just 22-23 metres away, into middle now with Adam Sidlaw. Sidlaw's made 10 plus metres there before being brought down. 4 Whitehaven players involved in the tackle. Holiday and Kellett in at marker. Hartill goes right and finds Abram. Had to dive up a little bit there, and now found Harry Hyam in at the centre this afternoon, but got the ball back into Dan Abram, who's now been pulled down just short of the halfway line. Hartill comes across a couple of pairs of hands, now finds Pagger. Pagger then just pops it up to Rodden, and it's a 5 and last on the Whitehaven 40 here for the Swinton Lions. They're going to come down this short left hand side. Pagger now finds Robert, then that is forward. Brett Favre would have been proud of that one. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, maybe for you newer NFL fans, you know, American football fans. It is a forward pass and it'll be a turnover ball. Whitehaven will start this 30 metres away from their own line, Dave.
I was going to say Dan Marino. That
just shows how far,
to be honest, but it was a forward pass. But once again, a real opportunity there for Swinton Lions. They seem like they're again using Louis Roberts, and again he cut down this left hand side, hasn't he, and unleashed the pass, but like I say, it was forward, and Whitehaven perhaps a little bit fortuitous because they created space again. They
had created space once more. Holgate goes left, and now finds even Bickerdike. Bickerdike will take Whitehaven over halfway before being taken down by Adam Sidlaw, only a metre or so over. Now finds Kellett, just has to bend his back there a little bit. Did Jack Kellett, wasn't the best pass from Holgate, but he's able to recover and now play this 40 metres out from the Swinton line. Pearce comes out the back to Newbeck, and he now finds Connor Holiday. Holliday's trying to twist and turn his way out to the tackle, potentially trying to get his arm through. Who's making meters there backwards there is Conor Holiday. He's now the 5 and last, 31 metres out. It's a slow play the ball. Going to look to come down the right hand side with Newbegin. Comes off the Swinton man. And he's being wrapped up by Jack Newbegin. So it isn't the best end of play set in the world, and Adam Lynch plays the ball.
Yeah, it was a really quick reactions from Lynch, however. I know it wasn't the most thrilling of kicks that you'll ever see Newbegin come up with, but he still had to get down on it quick, didn't he? And Swinton pushing forward now over their own 40-metre line through Sinclair.
Yeah, Sinclair now the man to fetch it forwards, 5 metres short of halfway. Harthill in there at dummy half, goes across to Sidlow, takes it on a standing start. A couple of pairs of hands now before getting across to Gavin Cox on that right hand side. Just over the halfway line as Cox will play. This is the rain starts here at Heywood Road. We've been expecting it. Scheduled for around about 4 o'clock. It's coming a little bit earlier. It could make conditions all the more interesting out there this afternoon. It is the 5 and last. Harthill finds himself in at dummy half. Will go right to Dan Abram. Wilkinson's trying to put the pressure on, but it's just a kick high up in the air. It's allowed to bounce. And Jordan Thompson, of all people, there, the man who collects it following the bounce. He bounced up high in the air and just had to wait for it to come down. And Whitehaven will start this 38 metres away from their own line. Max Anderson-Muir is now the man to fetch it forward as he's put down onto his back, sort of 5 metres short of halfway. Holgate once more in at dummy half, and Jordan Burns, the first real time we've seen Jordan Burns have ball in his hands this afternoon. He takes Whitehaven over the halfway line, centre field. Holgate comes right into the hands then of Conor Holiday, looking to break through the tackle. There is Holiday, but brought down on the Swinton 40. 15 metres or so in from this right hand side touchline into the middle now with Kellett, getting to go through a lot of work in the early stages is Jack Kellett. 35 metres out, it is the 5 and last. Tyro look to put the kick towards the corner. Max Anderson-Muir smothers Frank Sargent on that right hand side, waited until he hit the floor. In all fairness to Sargent, he got up and played the ball, no complaints whatsoever. Fantastic defence from Whitehaven, and so now been able to bring down Robert still short of his own 10 metres.
It was a massive kick that, and a great take, to be honest, under plenty of pressure. But to be honest, he's going to be looking around for Max Anderson-Muir for the rest of the game. I get the feeling, Frank Sargent, because he's got his number.
Louis Robertson will be the man to fetch it forward, and Swinton have made it to around about the 20 metre mark, still on the 4th tackle, so they've still got plenty of yardage to try and make. Into the middle now with Pagger. Pagger will pop it up then for the prop forward Alfie Sinclair, and Sinclair's Beesworth, who's been taken down the loose forward to 5 and last from their own 20, and then Dan Abram loses control, and he'll try and just get it away here, and they're going to kick it, and they're going to have to wait. Ellison Holgate collects on the Swinton 30. Holgate now finds Jordan Thompson. They just need to settle themselves down here at Whitehaven. It's not a free play. That's what Jack Newbegin says. Just hit the floor and let's get this set of 6. Whitehaven will start this first tackle 20 metres out. Holgate in there at dummy half. Goes left end into the hands now of Jake Pearce, and it's a good tackle there on Pearce. He's taken down to the floor, but they're 12 metres out to Whitehaven. Coming back towards the middle now with Jack Kellett. Kellett finds his front. Roberts is involved. I think Sidlow is there as well to slow play the ball. Still up on his feet now. Holgate goes left into the hands of Tyler. Back inside then to Pearce. Calls a forward pass from the Swinton fans. Denton Arnold not interested. Holgate comes right into the hands of Jordan Thompson. Takes it with a standing start. Pushes off one. Isn't going to get away from the second and the third. It's going to be a penalty. Swinton called for offside. Whitehaven's third penalty of the afternoon.
And to be honest, they're starting to build a bit of momentum now. We're about 13 and a half minutes into the game, 6 points to the Whitehaven trail, but they're going to apply some more pressure here through Kellett.
They're taking the tap, and Kellett fetches it forward to the right hand side of the post. They're 3-4 metres out here. Whitehaven going to line it up on this right hand side. Comes across now to Newbegin, then comes across to Chris Taylor. Ball was out the back. Burns and Todd had a walk in on this right hand side. Looking to try and play the ball there is Chris Taylor. Newbegin's at the dive in at dummy half, comes out the back to Jordan Burns. He wanted that to play earlier, didn't he? Did Jordan Burns. Lost a couple of metres of Whitehaven, but still within the 10. Trying to get a fast play of the ball. Holgate now goes left into the hands of Tyra. Tyra looking to get a kick in behind. And Real Quincy, he can't collect the ball, but there's a Whitehaven man that can. And it is Ethan Biggerdyke on the left hand side for his first league try in a Whitehaven shirt. And Kieran Tyder will have an opportunity to make scores level around about 15 minutes gone, or will be around about 15 minutes gone here at Heywood Road. It's currently Swinton 6, Haven 4.
That was a real quality kick, that, Jordan. He sized up his options perfectly, did Tyra, slid the kick in behind. You was right, it went just a little bit in behind Rio McQuiston, but Bickerdyke was following up. the man to touch it down. 6 points to 4. This kick to come. That was quality. That was real quality and a reward for some pressure that Whitehaven have been building for a good couple of minutes now.
Certainly has been, and it'll be Kieran Tyler with the opportunity to add the extras following that neat little grubber in behind. And I initially thought it was going to be, as I mentioned, it was McQuinston, the name that I first mentioned, but Bickerdike, the faster man, just able to get there beforehand and crash over on the left hand side. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online, it is Swinton 6. Well, Haven 4, I was about to say Swinton 6, Lions 4 there, that doesn't work. Kieran Tyler will come at this right-footed. Comes at it now. Struggle to see from where we are, and he's missed it there. It is windy conditions here at Heywood Road, so he can't level it up. Can Kieran Tyra, but it is still Swinton 6, Whitehaven 4, and that passage of play, that couple of sets there from Whitehaven will please Anthony Murray that his side are able to go from side to side and try and find them gaps.
Yeah, it was really constructive, wasn't it, Jordan? Potentially they could have scored a couple of plays earlier, as you said, the ball reached Burns at the back, but they kept composure really. I thought, well, Whitehaven, and ended up getting a good try on the end of it. So 6 points to 4 is the score in favour of the hosts, and Whitehaven back in possession from the kick-off.
Jordan Thompson, the man looking to try and fetch it forward, he's pushed back by Gav Rodden. Now Mitchell Todd, who comes in off the wing to try and help his side forward there. He's brought down short of his own 20. He's Todd. Holgate now finds Chris Taylor, who's coming towards the middle to try and help his side forward, making more metres laterally than forward rather in this last couple of tackles of Whitehaven. Holgate now looks to try and take his side forward. He's made 10-11 metres there as Holgate before being brought down centre field on his own 30. Kellett in there at dummy half, now into the hands of Pearce, who finds Jordan Thompson. Thompson tries to turn out to the tackle but taken down short of his own 40. It is the 5 and last. Holgate will now find Jordan Burns, who's going to look to put the kick in, and it'll be collected on the full by Frank Sargent, and he'll look to fetch his ball forward. He's met by McQuinston and Kelly, but Swinton starting this set only 10 metres away from the halfway line in centre field. Very
confident take there from Sargent, and already Swinton bringing the ball to this left hand side with Ellis Anderson, but he's overwhelmed by a 3-man challenge as far as Whitehaven are concerned, and they've gone nowhere in that particular tackle.
Roberts now finds Ben Hartill. Hartill will be taken down just over the halfway line. Come on and played around about 30-35 minutes at Whitehaven for Waddington, replacing Danny Walker in the second half in that Challenge Cup tie a few weeks ago. Hartill in at dummy half, goes right, now finds Dan Abram. Abram's now taken down, and what is the 5 and last, 30 metres out in line with the right hand side post. Going to look to go down that short right hand side, and Pagger looks to get the kick away. Tyler puts pressure on, but Jordan Burns is able to collect, but he just has to collect and wait for the tackle there as there was pressure being put on, I think, by Harry Hyam. And it's now Bickerdike who will look to do the hard yards and look to try and fetch Whitehaven forward. They're going to push him back a metre or so there to Swinton, so still short of their own 10. Haven. Max Anderson-Moore coming off the wing now to try and help his side. Just got a big iron girded in Weir, so just had to check there for just a second. Anderson-Moore now plays his 12-13 metres out. Now in the hands of Connor Holliday. Still hard going here for Whitehaven to try and find some yardage. 20 metres out. 22, they're on the rugby union linings, and it's going to need to go back and play it from where it was from. So he's trying to sneak an extra metre or two there. His Holiday. Holgate now gets into the hands of Jordan Thompson, and he'll try to keep his legs pumping with Jordan Thompson. He's done well to make his own 30 there as Thompson. It will be now 5 and last. Comes to the right hand side to Newbegin, and Newbegin will look to get the kick down the field, but it's going to be right down the throat of Louis Roberts, and Roberts will look to fetch it forward, and Swinton are yet again going to have first tackle. I was about to say on their own 40, but fantastic work from McQuinston, and Bickerdike pushes him back 5 metres or so.
Oh, it was a superb tackle, that one. The two of them really teamed up and did a job on him, and as a result they're putting Swinton under a little bit of pressure. For Sargent unable to make his own 40 metre line, and even now through this latest run down the left hand side through Aaron Lynch, who's the Swinton top try scorer, they're not over the halfway yet.
Hartill now gets the cross then to Alfie Sinclair. Sinclair will take Swinton over halfway, but he's been taken down. Combination of Jordan Thompson and Jake Pearce, the props involved there. Hartill goes right. Here, what a windy afternoon it is. That looks slightly forward to potentially meet Abram. No one else is really interested, so I might be wrong. but he's put down onto his back now. Here's the Swinton man, it's the 5 and last, around about 38 metres away from the Whitehaven line. Abraham will look to put the kick in once more. It's end over end, it's high up in the air, and it's going to be allowed to bounce. And Jack Newbegin looks to dive on it, and he couldn't do. Cleanly could Jack Newbegin, and it will be scrum down head and feet here to the Swinton Lions. Whichever way you're going, it doesn't seem like you mentioned. I thought initially the windows we were looking for today was going right to left.
It's swirling, isn't it?
But it's swirling because both sides' kicks are just holding up in the air and causing some difficulties there. It's caused Whitehaven some difficulty, and they've knocked on the ball.
Yeah, if anything though, I mean, Whitehaven have now allowed the ball to bounce twice, haven't they, which has put them in a difficult spot, and they've now got to rely on the defence to try and keep a hungry Lions side at bay, and they've also looked interesting coming forward. It was interesting to note also as well Jordan Burns there, and perhaps his lack of mobility, because when he took that last kick in, he did come away from that with a leg injury, it seemed, but he's sort of strolling about a little bit, and there's a bit of a patching up being done on Newbegin, who seems to be okay.
Jordan's always going to limp.
Has it?
Yeah, he's always going to limp. It'll be alright. Hopefully so will Jordan Burns. Ball held in the scrum before coming out, then now find Jordan Pagger. Look to come out the back. No, he goes himself there, does Jordan Pagger. And he's been taken down 5 metres out. Hartill in at dummy half, goes toward the middle now with Rodin. Jordan Thompson potentially high on Rodin, but referee Denton Arnold not interested, but he's caught on the floor. Hartill's in there at dummy half. It's Sidlow coming on the crash ball. He's taken, as he got it down, he's held up there. Good work from the Whitehaven defence. Who got underneath him? I think it was Ellison Holgate, and it wasn't Sidlow, it was Beardsworth, but they've been able to get under Beardsworth there. 10 metres out now, comes right. Pagger finds Abram, then comes across to Roberts, had to lean for it, did Roberts, and now looks to step round 1, step round 2, he's taken down, wrapped up, far right hand side now, 5 metres or so out. Sidlow does well there, the Whitehaven, Kellett's involved, McQuinston's involved, a couple of others involved as well, looking to go down the right hand side with Dan Abram. And Holgate looks to get the offload away. Fantastic work from Dan Abram. It's a 5 and last. Has he got the ball? Fantastic recovering defence from Whitehaven. It was initially a fantastic offload from Dan Abram to find what was Mitch Cox, and he looked all to be over for the 4-pointer. But Whitehaven recover, and it's going to be a turnover ball on the 10 metres as they've held him up over the line.
You know, that was superb play from both sides, to be honest. Really good attack from a Swinton point of view, keeping the ball alive at the 22nd minute, and then the defence from Whitehaven, there was no panic. It would have been far easier to let him score there, but there was no panic. They got underneath him, and they really have delayed him, and as a result they get this opportunity to bring this ball away from their own end of Whitehaven.
Hard yards once more. Biggerdyke now on the second tackle. Holgate in at dummy half. Tom McKinney fresh onto the field, potentially a high shot there on Tom McKinney, but referee Denton Arnold yet again not interested, happy to let the game flow. It's Conor Holiday now, he's met by the Swinton defence, picked up his leg and then dumped onto the floor, 24-25 metres away from his own line. Newbegin in there at dummy half, looks to take on himself nearly through, looking for support, gets it into the hands of Holiday once more. He's made an extra only metre or two there as Conor Holiday. It's the 5 and last, 32-33 metres out. Jordan Burns once more in there at first receiver, and it's allowed to bounce by the Swinton defence. Well, I would say allowed to bounce, but they didn't really have too much of a choice with it being held up in the wind, and eventually it's Ellis Anderson has to come back and collect that, with now Frank Sargent coming in from the opposite wing to try and take his side forward here. Really is a swirling wind out there this afternoon.
Oh, it's devilish, isn't it? You can't really judge it, and it's proving a real difficult one for these outside backs to try and deal with. Quick word while we're over the first quarter now. Really impressed with the work that Conor Holliday's putting in. He's been throwing himself around both in attack and defence, and has perhaps looked the pick of the Whitehaven forward so far.
Sidlow plays the ball. Hartill now finds Abram over the halfway line. Swinton is at Beardsworth now, the man looking to fetch it forward there, but he's put down onto his front with McKinney and McQuinston involved. Goes right into the hands of Abram. Abram looking for an early kick. I think he potentially come off there, a Whitehaven man, not played that. Anderson Moores had to deal with it and nailed there as soon as he has to slide in to get the ball. Biggerdyke comes round now to try and help his side forward here. And Whitehaven once again being nailed in that red zone. Tyra has to dive in at dummy half. Mitchell Todd, in all fairness to him, has come from the other side of the field to try and help his side out here, but he's been pulled down 15 metres away from his own line. Hard going here for Whitehaven. Now Chris Taylor, he'll get his side over the 20, now over that 22 line there as well, the Rugby Union one, before being wrapped up and being pushed back around that 22 metre line.
we're in a set for set situation at the moment, aren't we, in this game? And Whitehaven have got to keep with it. Oh, they've come up with the error there as the ball comes loose and gives an attacking chance to Swinton in the form of Harry Hyam, who rushes away from a couple of defenders before eventually Kellett grabs him in with those long arms to bring him to ground.
Jake Pearson initially looked to break through, but was just being held on to and then looking to get his arm through. Then he's lost the ball, and Gav Roddin runs at a Whitehaven man. I can't tell you who it is initially. He runs at Jack Newbegin. He's trying to target Newbegin there, and Newbegin's just dumped him onto the floor. Ball bounces into the hand from a loose pass and finds Beardsworth, and he's going to be pushed back 2 or 3 metres. Defence is really on top. They're always finding that, and he's lost the ball. There is Beardsworth. Fantastic work from Whitehaven.
Great defence.
McKinney.
Yeah.
Newbegin was involved, potentially Kellett I think involved there as well, and they're all congratulating each other like they've just scored a 4-pointer. Fantastic work from Whitehaven as they get ready to introduce Brad Brennan from the sidelines.
Well, I thought I'd come up with a commentator's curse then, because I was saying about how the sides were going set for set.
And you've done that last week as well.
I know, and then straight away Whitehaven lost the ball, but they were good enough to defend the back of it, and that will be something that will certainly please Anthony Murray. And we're 26 minutes into the game now.
So Chris Taylor gets the ball from the base of the scrum and takes himself just over the 30-metre line, does Chris Taylor, by a metre or 3, let's say. Comes down the short side now into the hands of Connor Holliday, and got through a lot of work, as you mentioned, Dave, in this opening sort of 25 minutes or so, and he makes 4 to 5 metres potentially post contact there, does Connor Holliday. Holgate still out there now, finds Mitchell Todd, and he's going to take Whitehaven over the halfway line. I was talking to someone earlier this week about Mitchell Todd. You think about the step up he's made, not just from NCL but Carla, and he hasn't looked out of place at all. And we actually showed you a post pre-game that Whitehaven congratulated him for reaching the European Championship under 19 squad only a few seasons. However, Tom McKinney now judged to have knocked on the ball around about the Swinton 40 as they're trying to get up and play it, and it's going to be a scrum down heading feed here to the Lions on their own 40 in centre field. Just quickly going back to Mitchell Todd, there was a few there, wasn't there? There was Mitchell Todd, Jack Newbegin, and Rio McQuinson, who 3 years ago who were named in that under 19 squad. Was that the one where they were going to Serbia?
That was the one where they were going to Italy, actually.
Italy,
yeah. Unfortunately Mitchell Todd didn't make the final squad, but as you mentioned, it's been a meteoric rise for him, hasn't it, over this last few months, and like you say, he doesn't look out of place in League One at all.
Aaron Lynch is the man to fetch this ball forward. He's broken down 5 metres short of halfway as it's now Sinclair once more. They'll look to push it back, and they do. Brad Brennan's now out there for Whitehaven. Beardsworth looks to take the line on, throws the dummy, and Kellett's involved, McKinney's involved, and Newbegin involved, all in the tackle. Harthill goes right on to Sidlow.
Just the experience that he offers Sidlow is tremendous for this Swinton side. He's just settled them down with a couple of drives, hasn't he?
Yeah, former Leigh, Toronto. No, looks to be potentially forward to me, but he hasn't. Isn't going to be given. And it's going to be Harry Hyam in on that right. Initially, after breaking through on the right-hand side, pass from Abram looks it's just an inch, maybe a little bit further forward. But the touch judge not interested on that side, and it is Harry Hyam that put the ball down underneath the sticks for the Lions. Second of the afternoon here at Heywood Road. And the son of Super League legend Mickey Hyam, that makes you feel old, doesn't it, has put the ball down underneath the sticks. Swinton 10, Haven 4, and Dan Abram once again, I'll have him pretty much a gimme to make it 12 points to 4.
I know you said there was perhaps a little bit of doubt on the final pass, but the movement to actually get the ball out to him was tremendous, and he showed a clean pair of heels to the defence there, did Harry Hyam, in the 28th minute to score this second try as far as Swinton are concerned. But I think a lot of the good work of that can be traced back earlier on in the set. I've been really impressed as well with the way that Finlay Beardsworth has been able to throw himself about. Then we've mentioned Adam Sidlow got himself involved. The ball went down that right hand side, and Hyam added the jet heels to finish off from about 25 metres out. So Darren Abram directly in front of the post, looking to make it 2 from 2, which he does to stretch the Swinton advantage out to 12 points to 4.
You think you're watching you think you're watching his dad. You've just said Darren.
Did I say Darren?
I said Darren. Oh, I have. Formerly, of course, the former Leigh man, Darren Abram. But yeah, he has been able to add the extras as Dan Abram. It is Lions 12, Haven 4. We mentioned it's like a dad and lads reunion out there this afternoon. You know, we've mentioned the likes of obviously Tom McKinney for Whitehaven, but then Anderson, Hyam, Abram. It really is sort of like you said, dad and lads reunion. Whitehaven looking to go short on the kick off. It comes off the hands of Turnbull and goes forward as he's now fresh onto the field as well. So changes being run by Anthony Murray. From what I can see, I don't think the Lions have made any changes yet, so Paul Wood keeping his cards close to his chest at the moment. Of course, they are down in interchange. If you're just joining us, Jordan Pagger's been fetched into the matchday squad after being not named initially in the 21-man squad. In rugby league that days, that means you go from 8 interchanges to 7.
Perhaps this is clever work from Wood, you know, in sort of like keeping all these substitutes back. And let's be honest, they haven't looked like they've needed any substitutions yet, though, have they, in the game, which is now 30 minutes old.
So Harthill will be in there at dummy half as Adam Lynch plays the ball, looking to come down this side once more again, which is the left hand side for the Lions. The Whitehaven right hand side defenders. Rodden's now taken down short of his own 40. Is it Beardsworth or now? No, it's Sinclair. Sinclair looking to fetch it forward, brought down 6 metres or so short of halfway. Harthill once more in at dummy half. Beardsworth now finds Dan Abram, and then gets it into Mitch Cox, and Cox nearly through there himself. Is the experienced Swinton man. Plays this on the Whitehaven 40. Harthill shapes left, goes right, and it's good to go down that right hand side once again. However, it's dropped. It'll be Kieran Tyler to pick it up, and we're going to come back initially. Waved advantage there, did referee Denton Arnold, but decided there is no advantage, and we're going to come back for a scrum down around about 35 metres away, 30 metres I should say, away from the Whitehaven line. Again,
some really promising attack from Swinton coming down that right hand side, and again it was Louis Roberts who was right at the heart of it. Unfortunately, from their point of view, they were unable to hold on, but I thought it was good defence how they recovered, to be honest, from Whitehaven's point of view.
So it'll be scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven in centre field, tied it up for the scrum. Holgate at the base of it then finds Chris Taylor. Wrapped up his Taylor. 3 Lions defenders were in there. Holgate in at dummy half. Now Adam Turnbull fresh onto the field. Seems to replace Jack Kellett. McKinney and Brennan also on, who've replaced Pearce and Thompson. And it's going to be a penalty to Whitehaven. Holding down in that tackle. Adam Turnbull just gets up and smiles towards Finlay Beadsworth. And what are they going to do here? Exactly in centre field. It's going to be Jordan Burns who'll take the kick, and he'll just look to make sure he makes touch there, which is what to do is Jordan Burns. Made 20 metres as the Whitehaven fullback, and will start this set 40 metres away from the Swinton line. Taylor takes the tap and finds Newbegin. Newbegin then gets it across to Brad Brennan, who loses it on contact. Adam Sidlow was right in his face there on Brad Brennan. He'll be disappointed with that, will the former North Wales Crusader.
You know what I've got to say here, though, I mean, he's absolutely teaming it down now, so it's no wonder. And I think if you hit the point of the ball, it's going to pop out like a bar of soap, isn't it?
Exactly what Adam Sidlow had did there. He's just struggling there. He's Sidlow. He's just taking a knee. He's the big prop forward. Let's see, there's an interchange getting ready to be raid now for Swinton as George Roby's getting ready to come on.
As you mentioned, a proper live wire from the from around the dummy half area. Is Roby started off at Huddersfield, didn't he? And then had a couple of spells down here before they were able to sign him.
Yeah, started at Huddersfield. That's when Whitehaven decided him on just a couple of games loans. I think back in 2020, 22, 23. He's struggling with his knee there, he's Sidlow. The physio is out to him, and they're signalling to fetch him off, so maybe that is just precautionary anyways. Like I say, we're over half an hour into this game, around about 32 and a half minutes on the clock here on BBC Radio Cumbria Sports Online. It is Swinton 12, Whitehaven 4, Halifax 18, Barrow 4, Hunslet 6, Bradford 22, London 0, Featherstone 6, Oldham 8, Batley 0, Widnes 0, Sheffield 0, York 0, Toulouse 0. As we're back underway, we'll run through the scores in League 1 when we can, as it's now Frank Sargent who looks to fetch his ball forward. Abram dives in at dummy half. Now Harry Hyam, who comes in off the wing, and Sidlow is going to be now leaving the field, so like I say, a couple of changes being made there eventually by Paul Wood. Comes across now to Sinclair. It is Bobby Shingler who comes on to replace Sidlow. Roby now comes left down this left hand side. Pagger goes round the back. Obviously it once, obviously it twice. Dummies and nearly through. He's through, he's Jordan Pagger. Just trying to find someone in support there. His Pagger gets away from 1, 2, 3. Held up over the line, he's Jordan Pagger. But what work from the Swinton halfback. I tell you what, he hasn't got the build of a halfback, but what a player he's been in this opening 34 minutes, considering he wasn't meant to be playing this afternoon.
That's some effort, and now Swinton slinging this ball down this left hand side, and the player is all wrapped up. Aaron Lynch, he had to cut back in field, and they're about 10 metres out from the line here.
Rodden looking to go down the short side, one on one now is Todd with Ellis Anderson, but Todd able to wrap up Anderson. 8 metres out, 5 metres in from the touchline. Rodden finds Pagger once more. Pagger pops it up then to Alfie Sinclair. Sinclair put down onto his back. It's the 5 and last. Whitehaven have one more tackle to survive. They're loading up numbers on this left hand side, and they come there, put the kick in, and Jack Newbegin can't collect once more. It was low to the ground, in all fairness to Jack Newbegin. He had to do something, otherwise he was going in behind him. But Jordan Burns has jumped on it, and it'll be another set of 6 here for Swinton.
I feel sorry for him, to be honest. With 34 and a half minutes gone, Newbegin got ever so low to the ground there, but just couldn't cling on, could he, to that kick through. And then Burns slipped in the background as well, and has got up feeling a little bit gingerly, I think.
Yeah, he had to sort of dive on the ball after Newbegin and wasn't able to catch it cleanly. Was the former Millham halfback. Continuing to knock on the door. Whitehaven need to try and survive. It's going to be difficult conditions to try and bring back at least potentially 12-14 point gap. But it's now gone over to the far right hand side. Louis Roberts with ball in hand. But Whitehaven have 3 defenders on him and pushing him back a metre or 2. 10 metres out still now are the lanes. Mitch Cox with ball in hands come towards the centre, and Beadsworth's nearly through, and ball is lost. So Whitehaven have survived, forcing the error there from that pass from Cox to Beadsworth, and it'll be a scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven on their own 10 metre line in its centre field. Good defensive work from Anthony Murray's side.
Yeah, some great defence there from Whitehaven, but again the signs are there for Swinton, aren't they? And Whitehaven have got to keep themselves alive on every single play, because I get the feeling this Swinton side looks hungry.
Max Anderson-Moore fetches the ball forward, coming from the base of the scrum. Holgate goes in at dummy half, and it's Bickerdike now looking to try and take his side forward. Done well there as Bickerdike to get 10, 11, 12 metres, tries and get to fast play the ball, then looking to go down the short side where there is space. McQuinson pushes off one, and he's done well to make what? He's made 18 metres there as McQuinson, so good work from him. Holgate in now at dummy half once more, and now Brad Bennett looking to make up for that error and keeps his legs pumping. He's made now 13, 14 metres, taking Whitehaven over halfway. Be the 4th tackle on that far left hand side. Jordan Burns now looking to try and take his side forward. It is the 5 and last. 38 metres away from the Swinton line. They haven't been down here for a while. Goes left into the hands of Tyra. Tyra puts it up, and there's going to be plenty of chasers on there, McQuinston being one of them. And it's allowed to bounce, comes off the hand, goes backwards, and then is it Sargent once more that's allowed that ball to bounce, and he's then done well as a Swinton man, Louis Roberts, to get out of there, but then they're dragging him back. Whitehaven's now all of a sudden on top, Dave Parkinson.
You know, for the rest of this game, I'm going to be putting every single kick that I can at Sargent.
Absolutely, he does not look comfortable at all.
Yeah, he didn't want to know, and it's put Swinton in a whole heap of trouble here as Whitehaven really coming forward and attacking in numbers in defence. 4th tackle still behind their own 20 here. Swinton. This should be 5 and last. It is, and they're only on the Rugby Union 22. Whitehaven only have one man at home. Where is Jordan Burns? Yeah, Jordan Burns is just obscured with the girder that's in front of me. He collects on the full, obviously up to Todd and takes it on himself, and he's going to be taken down short. She's going to play it on the Swinton 40. Newbegin now finds Todd, and Todd will look to try and get through there. Good work from the former Lauker man. Holgate in at dummy half. Chris Taylor now offers himself up, trying to step back round. Probably not the conditions to be doing that back in, but he's done well there. Chris Taylor put down onto his back legally after his leg was lifted up in the air, but they're 22 metres out. Goes left, wasn't the best pass, bounces into the hand of McQuinson, now finds Jordan Burns. Just slowed Whitehaven down there a little bit, did that loose pass. As Burns, the Whitehaven captain, now plays his ball back into the middle with Brad Brennan. Good drive that. Yeah, you could hear the contact from here. It's the 5 and last. 17, 18 metres out. Comes right. 5 and last. Comes across to Tyra. Tyra looks to put the kick in behind, and it's going to be collected there. Is it by Ellis Anderson? No, it's not. It's Gav Rodden, of course, the experienced man. You know what? I think there's 2 or 3 of Gav Roddens out there, because he just seems to be involved in everything, isn't he? He's everywhere, both attack and defence. Perhaps Whitehaven will be a little bit disappointed with how they finished that set, but credit to Swinton there. Absolutely, as now Sargent comes off the wing to try and help his side go forward here. Won't be far off the half-time hooters. Robbie's in there at dummy half. Look to try and get themselves through now. That'll be Bobby Shingler, I think, who's in there. 8 metres short of halfway. Pagger pops it up to Rodden once more. Said his name an awful lot in this first half. It's a 5 and last. 5 metres over halfway, just to the left of centre.
They're no doubt, I think, trying to find touch here, but Pagger drops the ball and then puts it forward. So we'll get essentially what will be a free play. Holgate now look to take it forward. Are we coming back for the scrum? We're not. We're going to have a 0 tackle instead, and then should be, and he's a penalty.
Yeah, that was silly play, to be honest, from Swinton. I can understand why they did it, but you just don't want to be doing it. It's invited Whitehaven right back into their half, and especially, I suppose you can criticise the last 20 seconds of play there from Swinton, because they got themselves in a terrible position where Pagger wasn't able to get his kick away and then didn't do anything off the back of it.
Taylor will tap the ball. Newbegging now finds Brad Brennan. We make within the final sort of 20-30 seconds of the first half here at Heywood Road. It is Lions 12, Haven 4. Brennan now Holgate finds Turnbull. Turnbull will look to fetch it forward. He's going to make it to 22 metres away. Goes left now into the hands then of Tyron. Now finds Jordan Burns. Burns is going to be wrapped up. Coming now to the hands of Turnbull. Turnbull going to be taken down.
Can they get themselves over here, Whitehaven? Play the ball, comes in at the side of the post. There's Brennan.
Brad Brennan keeps going forward, does the prop forward. 5 and last. This will be the last opportunity of the first half. Comes right now into the hands of Newbegging. Comes across, then the ball's lost. And that is going to be a turnover ball. And there is the half-time hooter here at Heywood Road. It is Swinton Lions 12, Whitehaven 4. We'll have a chat with us, a new RFL president. Well, we're about to get back underway. We'll talk about that in a bit later on. Oh, you dropped the stopwatch. Oh, no, we need that. So let's get back underway. Swinton have kicked off. Whitehaven collect through Jordan Burns and then finding Adam Turnbull. Turnbull will look to fetch his ball forward and be brought down around about 15 metres away from his own line. Tom McKinney now looking to fetch his ball forward. The on loan Warrington man, but West Cumbrian born. Holgate in at dummy half, still done the full first half there as Alison Holgate. Just a reminder, Luke Collins pulled out before the side was submitted, and Cameron Brown, who wasn't initially named in the initial squad, has been brought onto the bench, so he's there if needed this afternoon. Holgate once more now in at dummy half, now finds Jordan Burns, and Whitehaven trying to get themselves back on the front foot. It is now the 5 and last. Burns just find themselves over the halfway line as they'll play this ball. Holgate will come left into the hands of Tyra. Tyra looks to put the kick in right down the throat then of Frank Sargent, and Sargent will fetch his ball forward nearly through there, is Sargent, but brought down by a combination of Ethan Bickerdike and Alison Holgate.
You know what, it's been a battling game really, hasn't it, from Sargent. He's got a couple of errors in him, but he's never given in, has he, and he's carried on coming back. But that was a good first set from Whitehaven, followed by a good chase, and now Swinton drifting down the left hand side through Gav Rodden, who's offloaded wildly in the challenge, and as a result Whitehaven are marching Swinton near the touchline.
Play the ball will Aaron Lynch. Beadsworth I think looking to try and fetch the ball forward here. Played 80 minutes at Whitehaven. Looks like he might do 80 minutes out there this afternoon. Well, obviously we're at early stages into the second half. Roby now finds Jordan Pagger. Impressed me in the first half. The Lions half-back, until he wasn't meant to be playing this afternoon. Reece B has pulled out as well. Goes left now on the 5 and last, and Pagger will put the kick in. Bounces off a Whitehaven man, and Mitchell Todd does very, very well to sort of react to that, and he's going to be brought down. First tackle 38 metres away from his own line.
It was lightning quick reactions, wasn't it, from Mitchell Todd? He did really, really well on that, because it came at him really, really quickly, did that kick from Pagger, which was half disrupted, to be honest, by the Whitehaven defence, who have done a really good job again.
Holgate once more in at dummy half, goes right into the hands of Connor Holliday. You said was probably your most impressive forward in the first half, as he's brought down just over halfway. Holgate in there at dummy half, comes towards the middle now with Aaron Turnbull. Continue to pump his legs following first contact there will Turnbull. 38 metres or so out now from the Swinton line. Holgate in there at dummy half, comes across then now to Tom McKinney. McKinney finds his front. It is the 5 and last. 24-25 metres out, centre field. Holgate will come left into the hands of Tyra. Tyra puts the kick up. Bickerdike's on the chase. McQuinson's on the chase. Max Anderson Moore's on the chase. Couldn't collect it cleanly because Max Anderson Moore and just slaps his hand on the ground in frustration. But they are targeting Sargent once more on the Haven left hand side, the Swinton right hand side defence.
That was so unlucky. I mean, he went really high for that kick, didn't he, Mark Sanderson Moore? And Sargent was again found wanting underneath that high ball. I can see him persisting with this particular tactic. I think it's definitely something that Whitehaven will get some joy with,
especially in the swirling wind as it is out there here at Heywood Road this afternoon. It's a windy afternoon.
Thankfully the rain stopped for the time being though.
For the time being it certainly has. So they've been pushed back. So I've just got my phone going off. I've got pictures of Adam Hills being sent to me as Roby now gets it across to Mitch Cox. Just better knock that off. As Roby now goes from dummy half, looks to go himself, then going to be wrapped up, however gets the offload away, not into hand. Tyra's trying to get there, potentially blocked off there.
I was going to say, was he not being held back then, Tyra?
Thought so by Jordan Pagger, yeah. But it's going to be the 5 and last on the 30. And Jordan Burns just has to trap the ball as he does, and does very well to do so, the Whitehaven captain. And now look to fetch his ball forward nearly through there is Jordan Burns, who's going to play this ball 2 or 3 metres short. It is good. 6 again.
He was brilliant football skills by Burns then, you know.
Yeah, certainly was. He's just having a word there with Harry Hyam, and they're both walking away from each other. Goes right now into the hands of Mitchell Todd. Real McQuinston just seeking some treatment in back play, back up and back into the attacking line now for Whitehaven. Holgate goes right into the hands of Tom McKinney.
That's a great run, that. So close to that ruck area. You know you're going to get bashed, but he made some valuable metres.
30 metres out, comes left, does Holgate, then changes his mind. Eventually taken down. Burns in there at dummy half, goes right into the hands then of Newbegin. Newbegin now finds Connor Holliday. Holliday's been pushed towards the touchline. It's the 5 and last, and Whitehaven have lost the ball there. Actually, is Connor Holliday. And when an afternoon when it's going to be difficult making as many yards as you can trying to get forwards, you need to try and keep the headers under wraps. And Whitehaven, while they haven't come up with too many headers, they've been in sort of pivotal positions so far this afternoon.
Yeah, again, it's almost continuing what I was saying when we broke for half time, isn't it? The fact that Whitehaven haven't spent as much time as they would have liked to within that 20 metre area, that was the perfect opportunity, and probably again an excellent example of why they're not applying the pressure and why they're 12 points to 4 behind.
Scrum down, head and feet to the Lions. They hold it in the scrum. Roby now at the base, and now fetch it forward does Harry Hyam. Strong run from Hyam, but then he's pushed down onto his back. Combination of Tyra McQuinston and Ethan Bickertyke will be the last man off. Incorrect play the ball from Harry Hyam, and George Roby just throws the ball down into the ground. He's got that little bit of temper about him, as George Roby. Great to see at times when it goes in his favour, but on that occasion quite hasn't, and ball hits the floor, and it's going to be a play the ball for Whitehaven, 31 metres away from the Swinton line.
Now let's see if they can put some pressure on here, Whitehaven. They need to completely set first and foremost, don't they?
Brad Brennan now the man to fetch it forward. That they certainly do. Finds his front, does Brennan, 24 metres out. Comes right now from Holgate to Aaron Turnbull. Waff Brown meets Egerton. That doesn't happen all too often. But Turnbull now 14 metres out. Holgate comes back now into Newbegin. Newbegin takes the line on Jack Newbegin. Nearly through there, and it's a penalty. But a high tackle on Jack Newbegin.
Tell you what, the boss in the penalty count here, Whitehaven.
6-1 I've got,
yeah.
Just not able to take advantage so far on Anthony Murray's side. Holgate takes a tap and finds Brad Brennan.
Oh, he's so close, he's Brennan, just turned over on his back, 2 metres out from the line. Holgate awaits dummy half duties. Drops it back over.
Aaron Turnbull is over on the left hand side. Whitehaven score their second of the afternoon, and it's Aaron Turnbull who's been up the crash over, doing the Brad Brennan role if you like. He done that a couple of weeks ago. Brad Brennan and caught himself over, but it is now someone has told the wedding DJ that it's Whitehaven that scored and not Swinton.
Yeah, he's got very excited there, hasn't he?
So it is Aaron Turnbull's try.
Great bit of score as well, to be honest, as far as Whitehaven were concerned. Turnbull really did come in on the burst there. The offload came back to him. I think it was Holgate who gave him the ball.
Just a little pop-up pass.
It was a little popped-up pass, and to be fair, he showed lots and lots of strength. 7 minutes of the second half gone, and a chance here for Tyra to close the gap. down to 2 points.
Tyler will look to tag on the extras. Sorry, I'm short of space, so if I sound I'm a little bit rushed, it's because I'm trying to write my notes while on my knee and everything else. Kieran Tyler will look to try and add on the extras to this Aaron Turnbull 4-pointer here for Whitehaven, and he does, reduces the deficit to 2. Swinton Lions 12, Whitehaven 10, and being able to sort of recover from what was the initial error from Holiday on that right hand side, sort of forced the error, put the pressure on Harry Hyam, and now being able to take advantage. Are we in for a similar second half to what we saw back in the Challenge Cup tie, where Whitehaven were able to mount a comeback? Hopefully so, Dave Parkinson.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic second half in the cup game, wasn't it? Ended up with Whitehaven winning that one by 24 points to 12. Certainly Swinton scored the 12 similarly in that first half of this game. There's a chance here for Whitehaven from the restart as Brennan really did run it from back near the try line, almost up to the 20-metre line, and that's where this attack starts.
Yeah, McQuinston now able to fetch the ball forward. Finds his front, does the former Miller man, former England community lion, as Dave will know all about. And it's now Max Anderson-Moore trying to... He's making plenty of metres there, is Max Anderson-Moore. Fantastic work from him. Made more metres backwards than forwards there. And it's now Tom McKinney. Turnbull calling that he's being called out without the ball, which he was, but he was just a dummy runner. So Holgate's now in at dummy half as Whitehaven are over the halfway line. They're now coming left after shaping to go right. And Abram tries to put the shot on McQuinston. That's twice now Whitehaven players have been took out without the ball in this set alone. It's a 5 and last, comes back to Tyra. Tyra's going to put it up in the air. Frank Sargent's got to get him, so he's got time to steady himself on that occasion, and he's going to try to get around, but he's not going to get around William McQuinston, as Tom McKinney's in there as well, helps him to complete the tackle. Incorrect play of the ball. They've forced plenty of headers there from Sargent in the first half, and now there once more the incorrect play of the ball. Whitehaven scored from the last play of the ball where they forced the error from the Swinton Lions. Are they able to do so once more?
Well, they're their own worst enemies at the moment, aren't they, Swinton Lions? The way they've started this second half, it is full of errors, and Whitehaven able to put some more pressure on. They're in a brilliant position, just 20 metres away from the line. And Holgate feeds it onto McKinney, and McKinney takes the drive, takes on Sinclair, rolled over on his back, however, but finds his front, does McKinney.
Looking for his second of the afternoon, will Aaron Turnbull be put down onto his back, but gets to his front. He's trying to get up and play it too fast there, was Aaron Turnbull. Maybe a bit of white line fever in front of him from the former Egerton man, especially after just diving over him moments ago. But it will be now a turnover ball to Swinton, but they've got the hard yards to do on this occasion. They're starting this on their own 10 metres. And George Roby's being withdrawn from the field. I felt that's a little bit early for Roby, so he might have picked up an injury. Hartle's back out there, and maybe Paul Wood's just not like what he's seen since Roby's been out on the field. And now Swinton are looking to fetch this ball forward, 25 metres away from their own line now as they continue to fetch it forward. You can hear the held call. Hartle into dummy half, dives out, gets round one, isn't getting around two, which the second one was Conor Holiday.
Nice run that for him.
McKinney and Newbegin involved as well. Pagger now dives into dummy half. Fantastic work from Jack Newbegin there from Marker to fetch Jordan Pagger down. Oh, he's lucky he hasn't given a 6 again away, I'll be honest, as Jack Newbegin. Abram now gets the kick away on the 5 and last. Burns a lot of time to steady for himself, although Sargent's on the chase and nearly lost it there to Jordan Burns. Done well to recover and plays this 22 metres away from his own line. Big attack now, the man to fetch it forward. It's Kieran Tyler who looks like he's going to be withdrawn from the field, so it looks like Holgate will stay out there and giving Cameron Brown his debut here is Anthony Murray, and trying to give something a little bit different. He's the Whitehaven head coach.
This could certainly mix things up for Whitehaven, couldn't it? Because as we've already mentioned, he's a bit of an attacking dynamo, certainly the way that he's played for Cornwall this last 2 years.
37 appearances, 27 tries, 41 goals in Cornwall in the last 2 seasons. As for the Australian, come through the system of Burley Bears, as Chris Taylor's the man that's going to be wrapped up, 42 metres out on the 5 and last. Holgate is going to get the kick in from dummy half. It bounced kindly into the hands then of Louis Roberts. Roberts runs laterally before being met by Cameron Brown, McQuinston and Holgate all involved there. Now Sargent, who's had a mixed afternoon, let's say,
He's been good coming forward when he's got the ball, hasn't he? But he's been very, very mixed underneath the kicks.
And attempting to play the ball as well. He's had struggles with it in the last few sets. It's Harry Hyams man now that's taken down. Hartle's in there at dummy half. Comes across there to Sinclair. Sinclair gets that ball away as well into the hands of Bobby Shingler.
It was a normal pass that as well.
It was. It's actually Jake Davis, the St Helens man.
Saint to Saint.
Oh, well spotted. Dan Abram. Now pops it up then into the hands of Mitch Cox. And Cox bounces off Conor Holiday. Not many do that. And then he's through there, or was through, before now losing the ball.
What a tackle from Turnbull that was.
Fantastic effort from Adam Turnbull, trying to make up for potentially that effort where he knocked on close to the line while trying to play it a few minutes ago. Swinton 12, Whitehaven 10, BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online into the 54th minute here at Heywood Road in for another enthralling game. The last 3 league games between this side, and I'll reiterate league games because they won early season in this cup, they've finished with no more than 2 points the gap for the victor.
Well, we're on course at the minute, aren't we?
We are on course at the minute. Ethan Bickerdike now looking to fetch his ball forward from the scrum, calls for the high tackle from Ellison Holgate. Bickerdike's being pushed back. Both sides have been able to do that this afternoon. I think it's just a soft service out there. They've been able to push their opponents back. McQuinston now looking to try and find a gap down this left hand side. Nearly through there was the former England community, the Lion. Is it going to be? It's knocked on. It calls for a penalty, but it's going to be a knock on, ruled instead.
Let's be honest, one of the main things that he's been so consistent on in this game, Denton Arnold, is this around the play of the ball. So if you're not going to look after the ball when you're getting up to play it, you're just going to lose possession, aren't you? But yes, and you know what, I was almost thinking of praising some of these ex-England Community Lions players as well. The likes of Turnbull, the way that he stepped up and has looked really lively, and up until that point as well, Rio McQuiston's had a fairly solid game.
Certainly has. Ball's gone left now from the scrum and find Rodden.
Still quick, isn't he, Rodden?
You mentioned earlier in the first half, there must be about 4 of them out there because he's everywhere. But he's everywhere week in, week out, so I don't know why we're surprised.
No, he's regularly a 7 out of 10 player every single week, isn't he?
Every week. As Alfie Sinclair will now play this ball. Hartle in there, now finds Bobby Shingler. Shingler met there by Brennan and Turnbull. 25 metres out, centre field, can look to come down this right hand side with Dan Abram. Abram pops it up there and then for Jake Davis. Davis put down onto his back. 19 metres out here are the lines, tackles in hand. Hartle going to look to come down this short right hand side once more into the hands of Cox. Potentially he's going to give the penalty there. It rid up, didn't it? It was initially alright there, was from Brennan, but then it just rid up and went over the head there of Mitch Cox. And I think a massive respect, Dan Abram wants to go for 2 here.
I think it was a big don't argue, to be honest, don't run at me sort of tackle from.
Yeah. He's been overruled as Dan Abram initially went for 2. He said put his hands up to go for 2, but elected to roll on, and then there's loss for that decision, hasn't come out. Couldn't see from our position how that come out, Dave. I don't know if you had a better view, but it is Whitehaven that'll play this ball.
I think he just lost it 1-on-1, to be honest, from my view, so I don't know what everybody's complaining about.
I'm not too sure at all. Left hand side, Holgate in there at dummy half now. This will be 3rd tackle when Chris Taylor is brought down on his own 30 is Taylor, just over the 30 now. Newbegin in there at dummy half, comes across now to Mitchell Todd.
Good run.
Fantastic run from Mitchell Todd once more. A couple of the Whitehaven players wanting a high tackle on Todd.
Yeah, there was a bit of high contact around him, to be fair.
Newbegin through the line there, he's Jack Newbegin. Can he get anyone to support? 1-on-1 there, Jordan Burns just couldn't get there fast enough in support of Jack Newbegin. Looked fantastic from the former Millen man. Goes right now into the hands of Conor Holiday. Holiday's going to look to put the kick in, pull back there potentially. Surely was Conor Holiday. Ruled a knock on, however, from the Swinton man, and it'll be a scrum down heading for it to Whitehaven, 10 metres out. Now knocking on the door. Whitehaven.
What a great bit of attack that was. First of all, for Newbegin to just drop the shoulder, find himself in a bit of space, and I tell you what, Burns was just a fraction of a second off from getting there. But then a little bit of ingenuity, I suppose. That's what he'll call it anyway, as the ball was threaded in behind, and as a result, there's an error from Swinton and an attacking set again for Whitehaven.
I want to put an apology out there for Jordan Burns. I said he wasn't fast enough. It was just that Jack Newbegin was just that far ahead of him, because let's be honest,
it was a fantastic
ball. I wasn't getting there, so Jordan Burns is a lot faster than me. So I don't mean he was slow, it's just that Newbegin was ahead of him. Brown now chance Jordan Burns out the back. Jordan Burns now finds Why
threw the ball away.
Why are you throwing the ball away? And now there's a set 2. Hyam and Burns. White line fever, Dave Parkinson, from one of the experienced members of the Whitehaven side.
You know what?
That ball had to go earlier, or he had to keep hold of it. He made a decision initially to keep hold of it, then tried to get it away. Had to be one or the other. Had to be one or the other. And on the first tackle, Whitehaven lose it. It'll be a tap 20 to Swinton and a 7 tackle set.
He should have just took the tackle, shouldn't he? It was all lining up for the rest of the set. You could see what Whitehaven were wanting to do. And then, as Jordan, you mentioned, white line fever there for Burns. Well, we can't praise him for that, unfortunately.
We certainly can't. But it's now Swinton looking to fetch his ball forward. Just still 2 points to the gap as Louis Roberts will play this ball. Harthill in there at dummy half. Sargent finds his front. 5-6 metres short of halfway.
Almost 19 minutes of the second half gone, by the way, Jordan. Still 12-10.
Round about the hour mark and nearly down the left hand side now. Swinton, man, I don't know what the Swinton fans are complaining for or shouting for. Pagger now finds Adam Sidlow reintroduced onto the field, so able to shake off the sort of knock to his knee that he took, that we withdrawn him from the field. Now comes left. Jordan Thompson and Brad Brennan round about the hour mark here. Swinton 12, Haven 10. Harthill comes right now into the hands of Dan Abram. Comes now across to Louis Roberts. Louis Roberts looks to shake the dummy, but he's met there by Brown and McQuinston. And who's going to be the last man off? It is Ethan Bickerdike, as he so often is. Cox now finds Abram. Forward, surely.
Definitely weren't a clean pass, was it?
No. Denton Arnold says no. 5 and last. Come down the short side once more. Onto the hands of Cox. Cox gets the off all the way to Harthill. Harthill then finds Sidlow. Fantastic work, one-on-one from Conor Holliday to wrap up Adam Sidlow for your turnover ball. Swinton starting to look dangerous once more as we're just in and around and over the hour mark. Swinton 12, Haven 10, BBC, Radio Cumbria Sport Online.
That was an amazing tackle from Holliday. The way that he cut Sidlow down, it looked for all the world like Sidlow was going to haul his way under the post, but what a challenge, and Whitehaven bringing the ball away from their own end.
It's now McQuinston trying to do the hard yards here. Holgate has done a full 61 plus minutes out there at dummy half, and I imagine we've seen Cam Brown go into 6. We're going to see him do a full 80. It'd be a fantastic stint if he can. Bickerdike now plays his ball. Holgate now finds then Mitchell Todd as Jordan Thompson's back out there for Whitehaven. Seems to have replaced Adam Turnbull. On their own 30 now. Holgate looks to get the early kick in. Isn't the best kick. Frank Sargent comes off his chest. It was along the floor, so sort of difficult for him to try and collect as it was, but he plays his ball on halfway. Abram now finds Harry Hyman. There's a bit of needle be coming out there, isn't there? McKinney's involved in that tackle alongside Jordan Thompson. Harthill goes across then to Aaron Lynch, who's coming off the opposite wing to try and get it forward. I'm going to have to switch these floodlights on, it's rather dark. Harthill now comes across to Sidlow. Sidlow runs it forward, nearly through the initial contact, but then brought down was the former Toronto man, of course. Comes right now into the hands of Dan Abram. Abram looks to go himself, and Brown nearly fell for it. McQuinston able to wrap him up. It is the 5 and last. Harthill goes through his legs. Harthill puts the kick towards the corner. Anderson Moore should be there, and he is, and they've done well, and it's going to be a penalty for offside.
And there's a high tackle on him.
High tackle. Yet again, there's a massive sort of beam in my way, so I couldn't really see. But Whitehaven will have an opportunity once more. Max Anderson Moore just sat, and it will be a penalty here for Whitehaven for the high tackle on the former Barrow Raider. Clock stopped. We'll stop the stopwatch. 62nd minute as we make it here at Heywood Road, around about 18 minutes to go. Should we see if we can get some scores from League 1? We didn't mention them in the first half, did we? Dewsbury 4, North Wales 12, Gould 2, Midland 6, Rochdale 20, Keighley 0. At Scotland, wow, wasn't expecting that this afternoon. Whitehaven put the ball into touch following the penalty. They've made it to around about 20 metres away from their own line, so made about 18 metres or so on the kick. That's how close Max Anderson Moore was. It's now Jordan Thompson who fetches the ball forward. Holgate in there at dummy half. Now into the hands of Brad Brennan. Calls for the high tackle on Brennan once more as he was heading towards the floor. Holgate in there. Now finds Cameron Brown. Cameron Brown shapes. There was 2 on him. They knew what he was going to do. Cam Brown. Harthill and Cox is involved. 10 short now, halfway. Jordan Thompson, Jack Kellett's back out there for Whitehaven now as well. Thompson plays the ball 3 or 4 metres short of halfway. Ball knocked down. It is a fresh set of 6 for Whitehaven. Holgate throws it back then down to Jordan Burns. So that will be 0 tackle. Fortunate really that it bounced back right into the hands there of Ellison Holgate. Jordan Thompson and I'll fetch it forward. The 35 metres out of Whitehaven. Holgate goes right into the hands of Brown. Now finds Newbegging. Now comes Jordan Burns. We're going to come back. Cam Brown was taken out. No, we're not going to come back for it. And that's been some Whitehaven's issues this afternoon, trying to keep hold of it in them sort of attacking positions. That's where sort of the Achilles heel has been so far this afternoon.
Yeah, it was an error over on that right hand side from Taylor, and he just dropped it cold. I thought it was a good pass to him, to be honest. And although, as you mentioned, there was perhaps a couple of shenanigans in the middle of the field.
Incorrect play the ball.
There's an error there.
Error for error. How often we've seen that so far this afternoon, especially in this second half. One side have erred and another side have pretty much erred straight away. And we're into what? Into what? The 64th minute, I think we are.
I'm finding it really interesting at the moment. There's a bit of a jousting match going on between Harry Hyam and the winger Frank Sargent and the young touch judge on this side. They keep turning to him absolutely every opportunity that they get.
Trying to get into his head, aren't they, it seems like. We did mention, and I mentioned off air, and I don't mind saying this, I mentioned off air earlier on that he does look like he's just come out of school.
He's a very young man.
He's a young touch judge, but he isn't being put under pressure by the Swinton defence. Whitehaven underway now. Jordan Thompson with it. Fetches it forward as Jordan Thompson, put down onto his back. 30 metres out of Whitehaven. Can they search for their third of the afternoon and take the lead for the first time? Newbegging now finds Cameron Brown. Has to keep hold of it as Cameron Brown rides the tackle well, but has lost 5 or 6 metres there. Good work from who else but Gav Rodden. Definitely my Swinton man of the match this afternoon is Gav Rodden, as Kellett's put down onto his back. What is he, 27 metres out or so here is Kellett. Holgate now into the middle with Brennan. Couldn't.
Oh dear. Error for error for error for error.
Yeah. I think he had his eyes up there, did Brad Brennan, looking to see what was coming in front of him before he had ball in hand. He scrummed down head and feet to the Lions. 28 metres or so away from their own line. BBC Radio, Cumbria Sports Online, 12-10 to Swinton, 2 points the gap.
He was already choosing who he was going to run at, wasn't he, Brad Brennan, before actually taking the ball in, and as a result of another error. It just seems to be what we're saying a lot of at this moment in time, doesn't it? Somebody needs to take control of this game.
Frank Sargent lets to get the ball from the base of the scrum. Fantastic work and tackle from Ethan Biggerdike. Thompson's in there at first marker as well, helping out. Abram in at dummy half, gets the ball across, and the Swinton man will be taken down, put down onto his front, just short of his own 40. It's Aaron Lynch who's come over, I think. No, it's Mitch Cox. And it's Jake Davis, St Helens man, who's playing this ball now. Hartel, Abram comes across, then he heard the shout of inside. Fantastic work is it from Cam Brown to get the ankle tap on Mitch Cox, otherwise Swinton had numbers on this right hand side. Hartel now finds Adam Sidlow. Brennan trying to make up for that mistake. Oh, and then Swinton knock on through it's Alfie Sinclair. Error for error for error for error for error for error, Dave Parkinson.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair as well, if you've got a forward like Adam Sidlow, you want to put 2 players at the side of him each time he takes the ball in, because he has got this tendency to turn within the tackle, and I'm sure it'll be a case of Swinton getting up to speed as the season moves on. But I'm thankful from a Whitehaven point of view that they put it down, to be honest, because they were starting to look a bit promising.
Good lad, Dave Parkinson, well done. Newbegging in there. Plays the ball to the scrum, feeds it, now comes out a couple of pairs of hands before finding Biggerdike. Biggerdike plays it 37 metres away from his own line as Max Hansen-Muir now trying to help his forwards out. He makes 7, 8, 9 metres before being brought down. Holgate now finds Kellett. Kellett steps and tries to get around Mitch Cox, not many do that. Holgate in there at dummy half, goes right into the hands now with Brown, now finds Newbegging. Newbegging now finds Jordan Burns. Newbegging's being took down in back plays, back up, and he's okay there, he's Newbegging.
Yeah, Rodden hit him at the point where he passed it, I think.
Burns plays the ball, now comes across then to Jake Pearce, back out there, pretty much back to the starting lineup now for Whitehaven, apart from Cam Brown who's out there in the place. of Kieran Tyrett, the 5 and last. Holgate now comes to Brown. Brown then looks to get the kick in behind. Sargent's there. You could tell he was a little bit, he just didn't want to take it there. It's Sargent, he wanted to try and get as comfortable as possible, but he's then now being brought down, and it's going to be, he gets back and told to play from where he come from. 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. Hyam's in there at dummy half with Quinston and Keller. This gentleman to the left hand side, you're going to give yourself a heart attack if you can't say. Abram in there at dummy half.
He's definitely involved in everything, this gentleman.
He certainly is. Roberts is going to look to play this ball 22 metres out from the Swinton line. Hartel now finds Sidlaw, just trying to reduce the amount of yards that Swinton's making here to Whitehaven. He's going to play this 31 metres away from his own line. Alfie Sinclair put down onto his back, short of their own 40 on the 5 and last here. Hartel is in there at dummy half. It's going to come right into the hands of Dan Abram. Abram gets the kick away. It's a spiral kick. Lost that one a little bit there, did Max Anderson Murray. It's gone backwards and it's into the hands of Jordan Burns. There's a little gap there for Burns to try and get through. Fantastic chase from Swinton, but Max Anderson Murray wasn't too comfortable. He's struggling there, is Jordan Burns. He gets up and plays it, or then gets up and holds the back of his neck. Mitchell Todd.
How often have we seen that in this game though, where the ball's gone up in the air, it's been allowed to bounce, and then there's been pressure put on?
Holgate in there at dummy half, goes left, goes right, then into the hands now of Newbegin. Newbegin gets the way to Chris Taylor. Taylor looked to play this 38 metres out from his own line. Jake Pearce now looks to fetch it forward. Good run there from Pearce, finds his front, trying to get a fast play of the ball, not being allowed at the moment. Just short of halfway. Holgate now finds Jordan Thompson. Jordan Thompson's nearly through himself there, and the ball is lost. 2 men in that tackle, but Jordan Thompson just says cleanly lost. Just Denton Arnold. Another error. This second half being absolutely full of them. Roberts now taken down, just short of halfway. Pease and Thompson involved in at centre field. Comes across into Sargent, who's coming off the wing to try and take his side forward.
Yeah, if you're a coach and you're looking at the completion rates, it's not nice reading.
It's not pretty reading at all in this second half. Sinclair's the man that's pushed back. They are in Whitehaven territory here, Swinton. Abram popped it up to Mitch Cox.
He's been good this second half now.
Yeah, both. What do you expect from Modern and Cox? Fantastic work from both of them over the last few years. Abram now looks to put the kick in towards the corner. It's going to find the touchline. Fantastic work from Dan Abram, and it'll be a play the ball 10 metres out as you've got a stoppage in play. Not too sure what for. I think if he's kicked that ball away, which I think he's done because he's stopped the clock, that should be a yellow card. Might just have got away with one there slightly as Harry Hyam. But it's going to be a turnover ball. Whitehaven 10 metres out, centre field, as we check on the clock, and we are around 10 minutes to go here at Heywood Road. Swinton 12, Whitehaven 10. It's certainly game on. It is a very similar scoreline. It was 12-12 with 10 to go in the Challenge Cup tie 4 weeks ago or so. As now Whitehaven look to spin out with a tackle. He's hit the man on that side. It's Connor Holliday. Kellett now has the ball in centre field. Finds Jordan Thompson. Plays the ball. Holgate. Winston and Swill get back up once more. Newbegin now finds Connor Holliday. Holliday's going to be brought down short of his own 40, 2 or 3 metres short. Holgate now finds Newbegin. Newbegin's trying to get through that gap. Just soon closes.
They just need to be a bit more constructive here, I feel, Whitehaven.
Holgate goes right to Burns on the 5 and last, puts the kick up in the air. It's going to be allowed to bounce once more, and bounces into the hands of Even Biggerdike. Oh, he just gets the ankle tap taken down. It is still the 5 and last. Gets the offload away into the hands. Oh, is it Jake Pearce? Pearce then looks to put the kick forward. Bounces into the hands of Dan Abram. Of all the people in the world you didn't want the ball to fall to, you didn't want it to fall to a prop forward.
No, you don't want a prop to be pouring his boot on the ball at this stage of a game, do you? I mean, it was a great kick downfield initially, superb chase, but they just ran out of numbers, and then Pearce just had a snapshot, didn't he? Lost his head a bit.
That's why he's on at halfback. But looking to fetch the ball forward now, Swinton through Sidlow. Now it's Sidlow. It must have been Beadsworth before that. Sidlow's put down onto his front. Hartel's in there at dummy half, 12 short of halfway. Oh, what a contact that is. Who's involved? Holgate and McQuinston. 5 and last. Abram gets the kick away. Jordan Burns will collect on the full. 18 metres away from his own line when he collects. And then makes it up to just short of his own 30 here. Will Jordan Burns. Cam Brown's in at dummy half.
They need to get back in position here, Whitehaven. Get as many people behind the ball. Try and advance down the ground, because it shouldn't be left to half backs and outside backs at this stage.
Anderson nowhere. Cam Brown's in there. It's now Ethan Biggerdike. And he'll take Whitehaven over their own 40. Real war of attrition out there between these two sides. Swinton 12, Haven 10. Jake Pearce now rolls out the back to Newbegging, and now Burns, then finds Taylor, now finds Mitchell. Todd was in, and Todd just couldn't keep hold of the ball, and it's another error. Whitehaven have been guilty of that a lot this afternoon with ball in hand, and it'll be a turnover ball with it, because I think it's found touch, or is it going to be a scrum down? Just wait and see the signal from referee Denton Arnold. Scrum down, head and feet to Swinton, exactly on halfway. Whitehaven's trying to shift it on the right hand side edge there, Dave, because they did have a man over.
Yeah, I can't blame him for wanting to shift it and even getting the ball out to that position, but the execution just wasn't quite there, wasn't quite good enough. As we've mentioned all through the afternoon, difficult conditions with this blustery weather, but it's still Whitehaven who trail by 12 points to 10 in this one, inside the last 10 minutes. In fact, we've got about 6.5 minutes remaining, Jordan.
The clock stopped as trying to win against the head there with Whitehaven. Referee Denton Arnold didn't seen something he didn't like, so Pagger's told to play the ball once more. Feeds the scrum. Now Harthill comes right into the hands of Abram. Now finds Roberts. Now finds Sargent down this right hand side, then falls to the ground as Sargent. Biggerdike is able to get back and recover. Roberts in there, now finds Hyam. Potentially there from McQuinston. No, referee Denton Arnold not interested on what was potentially a high tackle. Hartill goes left into the hands now of Abram, pops it up. Fantastic work from Kellett alongside Jordan Thompson, fetches the Swinton man down. 28 metres out, goes towards the middle, now left with Pagger. Comes across then to the Swinton man, which will be Gav Rodden. I'm going to be saying his name in my sleep tonight. Gav Rodden, 22 metres out now of Swinton. Comes across then to Sidlow. 12 metres out to the Lions. 5 and last. Hartill's in there at dummy half. Comes right onto the new man onto the field, which is Trent Kelly-Duffy. Trent Kelly-Duffy held up. Recently introduced there has been Trent Kelly-Duffy. The first time he's took shot I've seen him with ball in hand, and he's held up I should say, over the line. So it will be a play the ball on the 10 metres here for Whitehaven, living dangerously but able to survive. And Kieran Tyra is out there. I'm not too sure who he's replaced. It's Jordan Burns who's limping away following that tackle. So is it Tyra to fullback potentially, Cam Brown to fullback potentially? We'll have to wait and see when that one sorts itself out. Brown's currently in at dummy half as Holgate plays the ball. Comes across now to Tyra, who's gone in that sort of half-back role. So it looks like it's Cam Brown to full-back, Tyra back in position at half-back. Brown in at dummy half, goes across then to Pearce. Had to take it standing still with Pearce, sort of wasn't expecting that. 10 short of halfway, centre fielder Whitehaven. Holgate now finds Keller. Keller then gets across to Jordan Thompson. There's 4 Swinton defenders initially involved in the tackle, now 3 put down just over halfway. 5 and last. Comes down this short side and Tyra will put the kick up in the air. Calls Cam Brown for offside and then says no, you can't call it. So Louis Roberts, and then going to be a penalty for a high tackle here. And Kellett is going to have a word with Jack Kellett. Shouts off to our right hand side. How long's left here, Parkinson?
Got about 3.5 minutes remaining here. Still at 12 points to 10 in favour of the Swinton Lions over Whitehaven. Just the third penalty that Swinton have been awarded that as well. It feels like there's a little bit more in this game, but I think it's more down to the errors that both of these sides have been coming up with. It's been a very bitty second half, hasn't it?
Abram, can he find touch? He's just got to find touch. It was difficult whichever way he went because of the swirling wind.
He picked the furthest touchline though. I couldn't understand that.
I wasn't complaining. He almost didn't go to touch. Fantastic work from Whitehaven there as they're able to fetch down Jake Davis. Hartill now finds Kelly-Duffy fresh onto the field, as we've mentioned, just nearly went over for the Lions. 40 metres out from his own line, 8 short now a halfway. Oh, he's gained about 3 or 4 metres there. Swinton man falls onto his front just over halfway. Referee Declan Arnold tells Whitehaven to get back. Harthill can't be offside if they tackle him after 10 metres, as Hartill's made 12-13 metres. Pagger dives in at dummy half, comes right into the hands now of Dan Abram. Out the back then to Roberts. Roberts throws a dummy, tries to push off Kieran Tyder. He did so, but Whitehaven able to wrap him up instead. It's the 5 and last. Cox has had to dive in at dummy half. Now Abram puts a kick towards the corner. He's trying to put... Oh, he's collected it, Harry Hyam. He's collected it, and that'll be Swinton who will take the 2 points here at Heywood Road. And I think we're going to have another set too, because they've just dived and celebrated in front of the Whitehaven man. But it's Harry Hyam for his second of the afternoon, and I think he's just secured the 2 points in their first league game under Paul Wood here at Heywood Road. It's Swinton 16, Whitehaven 10, and Dan Abram will have the opportunity to secure, and we're still having that set 2 there behind the goalpost. But Dan Abram should have an opportunity here to make 8 points the gap and ensure it is all she wrote here at Heywood Road on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. It's Connolly, Lions 16, Haven 10.
It was a fantastic kick out to this right hand side, to be honest, from Dan Abram. The chase was good. Brown went up for it. It was a real collision between him and Hyam. Hyam ended up with it and running in for his second try of the game. 16 points to 10 with this kick to come. And Dan Abram is going to take all of the time afforded to him, because we're just about a minute away from the full-time siren.
We make it around about a minute, 70 seconds as we make it here at Heywood Road. Just try and give Alan a nudge alongside you, just to make sure, because he's the one that's actually the timekeeper. Clock is stopped, so we'll stop that on our side. We stop it with 53 seconds to go.
1 minute 40 remaining actually.
Right, okay. So we'll reset that, and we'll wait to count up to 140. So with 100 seconds to go here at Heywood Road, BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. Dan Abram with the opportunities to make it an 8-point ball game, which, if he does, will pretty much secure the points for Swinton. Whitehaven, the most they can probably hope for now is regaining the ball from the short kick-off, because all they can do is really not go for the draw. So we'll have to wait and see here.
I love what Abram's done there as well. He's just teed it up, but he's teed it up not quite right, so the ball will get blown down.
He wasted his own time.
He is wasting his own time, yeah.
The clock stopped, so it doesn't make a difference. So, still hasn't waved time back on as Declan Arnold, so we're still at that 1 minute 40. 100 seconds left here at Heywood Road. If Abram converts, it's all she wrote. The Swinton fans trying to back Dan Abram there. Taking all the time in the world with a former Whitehaven man. Former Oldham man as well. Clock is back on. Dan Abram falls across the face, and it is another chance. He should stop the clock there. He should stop the clock. He hasn't done yet as Declan Arnold. Within the final 5 minutes, that clock should stop.
Well, it's as players get to the halfway, isn't it? That's when it generally should stop, but he hasn't.
He hasn't yet. No, he hasn't done. So we're in. So Cameron Brown will look to put it short. It's gone the 10. Swinton collect, and that should be all she wrote here at Heywood Road, as it's Ben Hartill, the man who collects, and it's now Rodden to fetch this ball forward. It'll be simple up the jumper rugby league time here from the Swinton Lions. Hartill goes left into the hands then of Ellis Anderson. 45 seconds left to go as we make it here to Heywood Road. Hartill comes across now to Rodden once more. Rodden throws the dummy, it's the floor. 40 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Comes right into the hands of Jordan Pagger. Now finds then Jake Davis, the dual reg man from St Helens. It's the 5 and last. Under 30 seconds as we make it. Whitehaven will have potentially one opportunity. Dan Abram then looks to put a little neat kick through. Cam Brown had dropped back. Abram puts the kick through once more, then goes backwards into the hands now, and it's a knock on. Oh, he's just given a knock on. I make within the final 10 seconds. The hoop is going to sound. Whitehaven need to play this ball. Kill it. with ball in hand, needs to play it, and he does. Anderson Moore, Max Anderson Moore will fetch his ball forward. There is the hooter, full time here at Heywood Road, and the Swinton fans in front of us all rise to their feet